program right now, we're in conference, and so we're going through conference play now. We've played 16 games so far this year. We're 5-11. We have a very young team right now. Last year we had a lot of players graduate and we had a few transfers, and so we're playing with a very young and inexperienced group, and so we're just focused on getting better right now.
This side will finish against Logan, this side will finish against Ashley. You can go reverse, you can do whatever you want. Baseline attack.
Our team chemistry is good, our camaraderie is good. We have really, they're fun girls to coach, and we have good coaches that are good people, and we really enjoy our time together. And so I think camaraderie and team chemistry is certainly one of our strengths. One of the things that we just don't have is a whole lot of experience, and so a lot of this year is just a lot of these girls learning for the first time what it's like to play at the Division I level, because we have a couple players that have that sort of experience, but for the most part, when you look up and down our roster, we're either inexperienced players at the college level or we're brand new freshmen who don't have any experience at all. And so those are some of the things we're working through right now.
If our coaches are getting on us, then we have to be there for each other. Like, we don't have anybody else, and a lot of us are from different countries, different states, so like we have to rely on each other to be there for one another and support each other.
So now we're going to go mirror drill, meaning ball handlers, I just want you dribbling on the baseline in your space, and you're just staying on that line. Now, what would our checkpoint be? Where's our checkpoint? Checkpoint's totally different than what we've been doing, because now my checkpoint is basically get in your stance. It is, move it up, it's toe-toe. It is toe-toe. These two toes are equal. So your checkpoint is that way, your checkpoint is that way.
We've been able to kind of, we've had a lot of obstacles and we've had a lot of adversity, and we obviously haven't won to the level that we want to win at. And so I think that we have very positive attitudes. We're very upbeat with what we're doing. I think that our girls have bought into what we're doing as coaches and what we're trying to accomplish. And so even though we've kind of had a rough go of it, especially recently, I think that we're persevering pretty well, so that's good.
Okay, so now, we still have to understand lines. If I want to dominate, if I want to deny. But we're going to go away from a deny now, and we're going to talk triangles. Where's your triangle? So who you're guarding will dictate how far your triangle is, the depth of it, etc., etc.
But today we put a focus on some of the defensive changes we're going to make. We're just always evolving as a team. We're trying to solve problems. Statistically, we're giving up a very high shooting percentage to our opponents, and so today we focused on defense to try to get that percentage lower to give ourselves a better chance of obviously winning games, but also just holding teams to lower scores. So right now we're having a hard time scoring the ball ourselves, and so we feel like defensively, if we can make it a little harder on our opponents, maybe we'll be able to compete throughout the game a little bit better.
Your back should be to the basket. I'm on the man basket line. There is no force. There is no force. My checkpoint is this way. She goes this way, I shove the foot this way. She goes this way, I shove the foot that way. That's my checkpoint right there.
We want to make sure that our girls are focused on getting better in their classroom and getting better on the floor as basketball players. We found as coaches that in the recruiting process, it's important to find players that are focused on the right things. Anytime that you get into athletics, and specifically college athletics, it's incumbent upon recruiters to recruit to the culture. And our culture here with our program is low drama, and we have a focus on taking care of our business in the classroom, and we focus, of course, on getting results on the floor. And so whenever we recruit, that's certainly an element that we have in our recruiting.
Lindsay's at the 3-point line. You have Lindsay. If that's a skip pass, we're not pressuring it. You have to be able to get there. So I wouldn't be here.
My whole time being here, we've not really had any team drama. Nothing's really ever arose that's made an issue and ever wanted to make me leave or anything. I mean, I wouldn't want to leave anyways, but just like being around girls all the time that care for you and love you and don't have a lot of drama is so relaxing, and it's one less thing you have to worry about with like our busy lives and busy schedules. So
You got to know who you're guarding. So every time you come on a drill, who am I guarding?
Here we go, here we go.
Stay, 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 stay.
Let's go.
Good, 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 good see, good see there. Good job, good help. Get on the line, get on the line. Hey, time.
Yeah, I take it seriously because in my life I try to have balance in what I do with my job and with my family, and I go to church and I teach Sunday school, and so I try to have a balance in my life also. I think it's important to have that.
If the ball gets scattered or if it gets messed up, I'll blow the whistle, throw it back to Logan, whoever's on the floor is going, okay? If you're the first one on the floor, you guys end the line. Next 4, you guys are ready to step on when we go. Here, last one.
Yes! Wait, let's go one more.
Wanna go one more?
Yeah.
I'll go one more.
3 more. You're still gonna get 15?
Sometimes when you get too focused on one particular area of your life, whenever that area is taken away or whenever it's gone or whenever you're not necessarily being as successful as you'd like, then life can kind of crumble around you. And these girls need to understand that we're trying to get good results on the floor, but there's so much more to life than just the basketball, and you got to take care of your business no matter where it's at, and to find different parts of your life that you can balance so that you're always moving in a positive direction.
Everyone just go against Lizzie! It's 3 against Lizzie! Don't let her get 3. Let her score! Let's go! Come on, Elle! Just pass to her. Come on, Josh! Oh my gosh. Yay! Yay! Come on, Ellie! Come on, Elle! Come on, Elle! Come on, Elle! Come on, Elle!
1-9. Good job, Lizzie. Good job. Lizzie wins it, I assume.
Yes.
All right, everybody else, 3 burpees.
Wait, what?
We had seen a lot of different teams this year. We've seen a lot of different teams, and we've had a lot of different experiences with close games, a couple games that went into overtime. They really battle tested us and made us stronger. And we had a lot of momentum going into Christmas break. And as soon as we got back, we faced a few big challenges, some good teams in conference that gave us, some trouble, some problems. And so we've had to really regroup and look at ourselves individually, going from player to coach, and just see what we can work on to get over this hump. A lot of it starts with having to accept that there are challenges and difficulties that come with every team in the country. I don't think we're exempt from any injuries or just difficult shooting nights. Every team is going to come across some of those things at some point. And for us, we've been pretty banged up with a lot of injuries and haven't shot the ball like we normally do, like we did in the past. But at the end of the day, those are just excuses, and we really had to look in the mirror and decide that it was time to show up to practice every day with a different mindset. Starting today, we had a great practice today. We're ready to roll for Saturday's game against Nevada, and it was a humbling experience for sure. And Coach Smith hates to lose, more than anyone I've ever met. And that really stems from him, and it carried down to us. And so we've been really humbled these last few games and need a lot to regroup on and need to come together as a team and really test ourselves. It's difficult. As basketball players, we've been playing this game for a long time, and a lot of times you just have those nights where things aren't falling. But when you lose as a team in that kind of fashion, like we have 2 out of the last 3 games, it definitely makes you want to just work that much harder, and it stinks. It really is a hurtful, emotional, devastating feeling when you lose by double digits at least. And so we really had to just say we got to regroup, and there's still a lot to improve on, But ultimately, we can't dwell on the negatives either. We've told ourselves that there's a lot to improve on, but we can't change our mindset. We have to have the same mindset that we're Mountain West champions. We're trying to repeat as Mountain West champions, and that's going to take a lot of work and effort from each guy on the team, not just the guys that are on the floor, but the guys that show up to practice every day, the coaches that are in here night in, night out, studying film and helping us prepare for our next opponent. I really do love winning more than anything, and it's something that I take a lot of pride in, is just finding a way to win. At the end of the day, I don't care who scores the most points, who has the most rebounds, and if that's what it takes to help my team win, then I'll do my best, and if that's the outcome, then that's what happens. But at the end of the day, I know there's a lot that I need to work on, to improve on, to help this team get better. And so it starts from me setting an example for younger players on our team, guys who haven't been in these types of situations before, where they've lost 3 games in a row or have lost tough road losses in conference. And so having done those things and been through those things, it tells me that there's a lot that I can work on in my game, just in the gym, by myself or with a coach, but also just showing up ready to practice, ready to be vocal, to talk and to encourage the other teammates and not let them get down on themselves. Winning isn't normal, and it takes a lot to be a winning team. Coach Smith has told us, especially these last few games, that it takes courage to be a great team. It's sometimes easy to fly under the radar, to settle for going 500 in games at the end of the season, but to have a great record, to have a great tournament resume, to win games, to win close games, it takes courage to be a great team. And so that means losing yourself and finding a way to best help the team, whatever aspect that can be. But for us, we just need to not think too much about the losses, but about how they occurred and what it's going to take for each individual player to overcome those and to get back on the right track.
Drives, has a nice lane and puts it up and in with the right hand. Nigel Carr has the ball ripped out of his hands. Diogo Brito's got it. Brito coast to coast with a two-handed stop.
First with Coach Smith, he's told us that we're always going to be the toughest team, night in and night out. He says we're going to do whatever it takes to win, and for us that's going to be eliminating losing. And what he means by that is there's things that we do, there's rules that we have in our team that will help us win games, and that is to not turn the ball over, rebound the ball, and score layups, score easy buckets. So we haven't really done those 3 things these last 3 games, and it's shown. We've been kind of outworked and out-disciplined, and so we just need to do a better job of those things. But as teammates, we can't point fingers at each other, which has been pretty easy to do these last few games. It's easy to point fingers over who's not shooting well or who's not rebounding the ball as well as they should. But ultimately, we know that it starts with pointing at ourselves and deciding each player that we need to do whatever it takes to get out of this slump. Go Aggies.
My name is Emmie Harris. I play basketball at Utah State University, and I am majoring in human biology.
Occipital condyles are going to set in there.
My GPA is 3.6. Right now I'm an undergrad and getting my prerequisites for medical school, and with that comes with a minor in chemistry. So after I graduate from here, I plan on going to medical school and getting to do 2 years of residency and then going into dermatology.
One thing you don't see in this epidermis as you're looking at it is you don't
ever since I was little, I just set out, I wanted to be a dermatologist. It just interested me, and I've stuck with it, and I really have a passion for it. So
8 wins it, 5 burpees for everybody else.
We have really good people that are students first. We have a high team GPA over 3.2.
I just literally love playing basketball and love being in the gym. I'm a very competitive person, so I just love to compete. I kind of am new to all year round, or whenever I was a freshman, all year round to playing basketball, because I played 3 different sports in high school. So I wasn't used to playing basketball all season round, so when I got here it was kind of fun to experience that because I never had done that before in my life. I have done an internship with a spine surgeon in Kentucky, and that was a really cool experience to be in the operating room and see that kind of surgery, and then done a couple of shadowing things and within like that hospitals. So I was initially going to play soccer in college, and then my senior year I decided to play basketball just because scholarships were better in just circumstances. So I visited out here and I loved it, and my family loved it, and just the people and the atmosphere, and definitely a different scenery. That's what kind of brought me out here. The cold's really different because it's a dry cold here, and then back home it's more of a wet cold. So the cold's not as bad as what I thought it would be, but there's a lot more snow than I'm used to, so.
I want you to do well. However, you will not do well if you don't put forth a significant amount of effort. This class takes some work.
Having like a strict schedule with basketball and school helps me a lot because it helps me stay on focus. I have class in the morning, then practice, and then I'll go home and study after that. And so that's one big thing for me. And then just being willing and passionate about it. If it's not something I love to do, then I won't be very interested in it. So it's something I'm really interested in, and I like learning about it. And if it's going to prepare me for my future, then I'm willing to do it and do whatever it takes to get it done.
Your skin tap coloration, they're melanin, hemoglobin, and carotene. This is that one that we were talking to earlier, you said is different than keratin.
Probably a really lot to handle, but it keeps me busy, keeps me on my toes, and I love that. So I don't like sitting at home and not doing anything. So I haven't done as good as I hope this year, but I'm still working on that, and we still have a whole season left. So there's a lot of time for improvement, and just to keep competing every competition that we have. So, and it's so fun getting to travel. I've been to so many different states, and been to states that I never thought I would be in. So.
What about someone who's very yellow? I already told you my son was orange at one point, right? What if someone's got a real yellow coloration to them? Like white?
Organic chemistry was my first C in college that I hated, but it was a first semester and second semester. So first semester I got a C, and it was my first C I've ever gotten my whole life, and I was really upset about it. But at the same time, I had realized I was doing basketball and school and traveling. And it was one of my first hardest classes, and that's one of the most failed classes at the universities.
Right there, that is your coronal suture. This bone is called your frontal bone. Of course, the front bone in front. This bone is called, these bones are called your parietal bones.
So the next semester, I just made sure to stay on top of things, and after class, go over and use my resources, get a tutor, and do everything that I could just to make sure I didn't get that same grade. I'm structured, and I'm really determined to get done. And I know it's really hard just to go to medical school in general, and just to be an athlete on top of it. I know will help me in the future because I have to go through a lot more adversity than other people, considering I am doing basically basketball is my job, and that's what I came here to do, but also have to focus on my future and getting a career in medical school. So.
Superficial layer, right? Just the one that's closest to the surface. What we know about this layer that's kind of unique is that it's primarily made up of cells that are dead or dying.
So he's going to lecture pretty much, and then I'll print out the slideshows that he used, and then we have a note that we get from the school store. And so I'll follow along with that, take notes, and after that's finished, I usually go home and restudy my notes and try to go over what we went in class so that I'm kind of already looking at what's going to be on the test and for that material, and then so I can keep reviewing it each week for the test. Well, it's what I love to do. Like a lot of people going to school, they think about school all the time, but my mind's just, so I'm thinking about basketball. I have to kind of make a switch, like whenever I need to do school stuff, that my mind needs to go to school stuff instead of basketball stuff. Like one of my personal goals this year is to get paint touches and get attack and either dish out or finish at the rim. So that's one of my personal goals that I try to do every single game, is to facilitate for others. We just have to make each other better, and we have to like realize that even if we're fouling each other and we're going hard after each other, it just makes each one of us better. So like, we can't always be soft and like, yes, like there's times when there's not, or to not be as hard on each other, but in drills like that, we just got to realize we're making each other better and to be strong with the ball and stuff like that. So
I'm going to pass them around the classroom and have a look at them. But those are actual, real ear ossicles.
just make sure you stay on top of things and just not to give up, because I know you'll go through adversity in life, everyone does, and I know there'll be hard times, but you just got to push through those and definitely staying, like I said, staying on top of things, because as a athlete and a junior now, I'm kind of freaking out with getting prepared for medical school and taking the MCAT. So if you just prepare yourself and start at a younger age and start doing more internships, more job shadowing, start preparing for the MCAT more, then you'll be totally prepared for what you want to do in the future. The coaches here are such supportive. They're great people. They come from great backgrounds and they do anything for us. And they're always, if we ask, I almost ask every day just to go in the gym and shoot with Coach Ashley, and she's so willing to come in and shoot with me every single day before practice, just an hour, 30 minutes, whatever it takes. And they're willing to do whatever they can to make us better, and as a team make us better. Go Aggies!